What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Again, I am Kyle, Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. In today's video, what I got going on here, I have a Honda CRF250R. Doing a full motor rebuild on this one. He had bought it a while back. It's actually been here at the shop for getting close to a year now. Bottom end blew up on it, and so we ended up having to get new crankcases for it. It came with a new piston, rings, jugs. We got a full kit from a company off of eBay. I think they're based out of California. I forget the name of the company off the top of my head. BP Racing or something. Well, we had ordered it for our 2010. I get it back. I put it all together, and what happened ended up being is that it wouldn't shift to second or have fourth gear, and it was really weird. It had first gear, have neutral, no second gear, third gear would be good, fourth gear not good, fifth gear, so on and so forth. So I ended up doing a little more research, and I had put it in the chassis thinking, okay, maybe it's something I did. So I took it back out, took it all apart, went through everything again, put it all back together, and it had the same issue. What I noticed is that it was missing a clutch boss that goes right here. On a 2010, the clutch cable hooks up right here with a nut. Well, as I researched more, I found out this is a year newer engine case they sent us. Tried to contact the company with no avail at all. They wouldn't respond. After 4 or 5 months, they finally responded back saying, oh, if you had it for 4 or 5 months, we're like, look, we have emails, phone calls, messages, everything we possibly could do to tell you guys you sent us the wrong engine cases, and they did nothing to help us out. So I'm going to find out the name of that company again. I'm going to let you know. I have to look it up. I wouldn't buy a damn thing from those guys if I had to anymore. That is horrible customer service. Not way to treat somebody when they spend over $2,000 with you to get a new engine cases, crank, and all that stuff. Horrible. I know you're based out of California, guys, and you're not far from where I used to live out there, and it disgusts me. I've heard good things about you guys, but unfortunately, not anymore. I have nothing to deal with you guys. Horrible customer service. Would not recommend you guys to anybody. So I had to turn around and buy new engine cases for it. The customer asked me if I'd do that. I said, yes, I'd do that. So I might be able to get all the bearings back out of here I put in and be able to put those in the new engine cases for this 2010 CRF. So we're going to run through this thing, guys. We'll do it together. We'll figure out how I just decide to shoot it. I might just shoot it in pieces of taking the top end, bottom end apart, and edit it like that. I'm not going to do a time lapse or anything. We might run over a few things in that. But there's my issues with this thing, guys. We're just going to jump into this, get this thing knocked out so he has it back, and that way he's happy. All right, first thing we're going to do, I haven't opened these boxes since I got them. We're going to open these up, make sure the cases are good, make sure they get beat up in shipping. I can see the boxes are a little beat up, but shouldn't be too bad. They do come with a few bearings already pre-installed, which is great. And my phone. All right, that was just another customer. He's on his way to drop off his VMAX. He had work done at another shop here locally, and it didn't turn out very well for him, unfortunately. But anyways, like I was saying, let's open it. I already tell this is the proper engine case. First thing I looked at to make sure it had this right here. This here is where the clutch cable attaches to on the engine cases, unlike this other set of engine cases. And I had personally ordered these myself from Honda directly, so I know they're going to be, as long as they didn't switch anything up, be just right. So what I'm going to have to do now, I'm going to have to take this engine all apart, heat it up, take these bearings back out that I had installed, brand new, also with the other side, crankcase side, and just kind of basically switch all the parts. All the gaskets should be good. All the oil seals should be just fine when I take those out. That's not a big deal. So we'll go ahead and check out this other one real quick. Make sure it's not beat up. This one looks really good. Let's open this box up here. All right, let's take a look at this guy. And this one looks really, really nice too. No dings, no dents. Everything looks great. So now, guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this, start taking this apart, see if we can get this thing done hopefully today. Most likely it'll be done tomorrow, unfortunately, because I have a meeting to go to. But let's go on and jump into it. All right, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and start off by taking the throttle body off, and then we'll probably just work our way from the top down. Take the Kickstarter off, sprocket, shifter, foot shifter, all that stuff, and just start taking it all apart and get it knocked out here. So let's go ahead and pull this throttle body real quick. Should be a Phillips head screwdriver. Take some of our vent hoses off here. Let's go ahead and take this cover off, the front sprocket, the foot shifter. We'll just knock that stuff out while we're sitting here. Now I'm just going to spread this stuff across the table because I'm going to go right back to putting it right back together. Front sprocket should be a 12. $8mm Kickstart. I forget if I have everything loose on this because I stuck everything on it to put it back up on the shelf after it didn't work. Spin it on around here. Get rid of the Kickstarter. All right. Go ahead. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start at the top end, work my way down. I may have to spin it over to make sure we're at TDC, but that's not a big deal. Pretty close to top dead center. Let me pull the spark plug out before I forget to do that. A little bit more spark plug. All right, we got the stator side cover off. We're gonna pull out this little screen here, set it off to the side. I do have it back matched up to top dead center. Here's your marks. It's kind of hard to see. There's your mark there, and your marks here and here. So that's all even. So now we're gonna go ahead and take the cam chain tensioner out, pull the cams, pull the head, pull the jug, and pull the piston. All right, guys, we got the top end off. We got it all set up over there, all nice and neat. So now what we're gonna do, we're going to go ahead, take the flywheel off. We'll break the 17mm nut loose. Then we'll put the flywheel puller on. This is a pretty nice flywheel puller here. It's from Motion Pro. It's a M28 by 1.0 RH. Pretty nice. I'll leave a link down in the description for it. You guys can chase it down there. I believe I got it off of Amazon. I think it's about 30 bucks, if that. You might have a flywheel kit. Not really, flywheel puller kit, I should say, not really sure. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't, but that's what you need for that one. So let's go ahead and knock this one off real quick. Remember, there is a washer behind it. Set that there. Screw this bad boy on. Actually, what I want to do, shouldn't have did that. Let's put this on first so we don't damage any threads. There we go. Now we'll stick this one on. You want to try to make sure it's all the way down to the bottom. There we go. Let's see, that is a 19, I believe. Just gonna hit it with this real quick, should pop right off. Yeah, I figured this one would come right off. It's been off before when I did the last set of cases on here, so definitely wasn't going to be very tight. Flywheel. Try to get a little Woodruff key out here. We'll just pop it out with a pick. Set it on the inside. It's a 10mm. Take the timing chain guide out. Pull that one out the top. As long as I don't lose a little spacer, I'll be okay. And then we'll just take the timing chain out. No big deal. New timing chain, new everything. So what will happen here, guys, when we go to take this out, after we get the other side case off, this will have to turn at a certain angle to get it to come out. So we have to remember, pay attention to that. It turns, sits in a certain angle. All right, now we'll just spin it around and we'll work on the clutch side. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this whole entire cover off instead of just pulling this guy off. It's a lot easier that way. So we're just going to go ahead and buzz this guy loose real quick. Just checking my water pump real quick. It still looks good. This one bolt here is what holds the cases together there. Should be all of those. Should be able to just check them all, make sure they're pulled up. Nothing's catching. And we should be able to just remove this cover. Trying to be mindful of the brand new gasket in there also, so we don't tear it up. And she looks like she's already tore up, so we're going to get a new clutch cover gasket. No big deal. She got caught up on one of the bolts here and pulled it apart. So O-ring and spacer. Now we're going to pull the clutch pack out of this thing real quick. I have to knock this little tab back right here, which is not a big deal. And then if you leave this together, you can pretty much hit that with an impact and go ahead and get that nut right out. I think that's a 27. And then your whole clutch pack will just pull out. Be mindful of the needle bearings and the spacer going back of that. And then Kickstarter mechanism. That'll all come out and apart, no problem. It's got a sleeve on it. Shift shaft, slide right out. Shift detent. Whoop. Just watch for the springs. And these little guys here, we'll just set them off to the side right there, all together. Shift drum, segment bolt, pull down on the shift drum. Take it out. Then we'll remove this guy. There is a spacer behind that and a washer. It sits like so. And this little guy. Go ahead and remove that. Don't want to forget this washer for the shift shaft. Almost forgot that guy. Slide it back on there. Is that a 14? Do I have one out here? I believe that one's a 17 again. Nope. Yeah, 17. Yep, there we go. Now these guys here have little punch marks on them. That's how they line up with the balancer and everything. So we'll go ahead and take out this gear here. Got the washer behind that one. Slides off like this. It's got a double spline on it, so you can't mess it up. Comes straight out. It sits together like this. Whoop. Forgot about that one spinning. Now we can take that out. There we go. My bad on that one. This one could be a little bit of a pain. Give it a little tap. Not so much as trying to knock that gear loose a little bit. There we go. And this one, turn it this way and it pulls straight out. And then we have the oil pump gear. It's plastic with a snap ring. Try not to stretch these out very much, guys. They will overstretch and you'll have a hell of a time trying to get them to stay back in place. Gotta get my hands down in there to do it. Where are my other ones? I need my little ones. My little ones. Pull this guy out because I can pull the clutch rod out. Go ahead and get rid of this guy. Well, we know it's out of the way. Now we'll take a look around and make sure there's nothing else I need to pull off on the outside, like this dowel pin, this little hose connector. This holds the hoses in place. Let's go ahead and get that out of here real quick. There we go, we got that guy out. Flip it back over, check this side. I don't remember if we need those plates or not, but I am going to take them out anyways, because I think we may need those plates, this plate for the other engine case. Put this over here at the stator side stuff. Alright guys, everything looks pretty good here. Let's go ahead and remove this. I believe the other cases have that. And then we'll go ahead and split the cases here real quick, which doesn't take much. We're going to pull these dowel pins out of the top for the cylinder. Everything's nice and loose there, no big deal. Check TDC. I like to leave my rod up. Now we're going to start by, I'm going to go ahead and take out this 10 here. It does have a washer on the back side. Alright, now we're going to grab an 8mm and just work our way around. I'm going to start on the inside.
Now on the outside.
I like to line all my bolts up the way they go.
Where did that one go? This guy here. And these go on the inside.
Now we just grab a nice dead blow hammer. And what we're going to do, we're just going to tap the back side of this case, and it should start coming apart. Should separate fairly easy. Gonna try not to damage the gasket on this guy also. Lay it back down on that side, and we'll take this side off. Here we go. Cases are split. Not a very difficult job, guys, at all. Just takes a little time, little organization. I know it doesn't look very organized on this table right now, but I'm usually way more organized than this. I'm just trying to get this guy in and out, and since I know I'll have to get a new clutch cover gasket, it looks like the case gaskets look pretty good. I'm just going to reuse the head gasket because this thing has never ran. It's just been torqued once. Should be all right to do it again. We'll dry off the gaskets over here, the crankcase gaskets. We'll dry those off, make sure they're all good, and we'll go ahead and start prepping the other engine cases, and we'll pull the transmission out, pull the oiler out, oil pump. Then I'll have to remove all the bearings that I put in here. I'll have to basically what I'll do, I'll end up heating everything up, and the bearings should just drop out after I heat them up, put them in the new cases, and we'll be good to go on that. Then I'll show you guys reassembly. All right, guys, and just like that, with the magic of editing, got the bearings all changed out, got the transmission back in, the crank back in. Now all we gotta do is slide the two case halves together. Make sure that the gasket goes between the cases is nice and dry. Everything lines up nice and neat. Everything looks phenomenal on it. So now we're just gonna slide these halves back together. Case halves are back on. Now what we'll do, grab a little flashlight, check the gasket, make sure it's lined up really nice and neat. Make sure it didn't get all out of whack. All the bolt holes look perfect. So now go ahead and throw all the bolts back in, and we'll torque all those down to 12 Newton meters. And then this one here, I believe we tightened that one down to 24 Newton meters. Oh, here we go, got that in. Now we'll put the oil pump gear in. Remember, it is plastic. Grab our set of snap ring pliers, wherever I put them out here. Just stretch it big enough just to get over. Double check it to make sure it's all the way down in the groove. She is down in the groove, looking good. There we go. All right, guys, now we're gonna go ahead and put the timing chain back in. Timing chain guides. So we got that one there. So we'll grab our Woodruff key here real quick. Let me put my gloves back on. Just had to change my GoPro battery. And we'll torque this later on when I have the clutch in, so I can hold the clutch basket in place with my clutch tool. And then we'll torque this down after the fact. So pretty much this side is pretty much finished. Now we just need to flip it over and start on the clutch side. All right, guys, so now we're gonna finish. Go ahead and put the rest of the parts in for the balancer, the crank, the clutch, the gear, the primary, that thing there, and all that. So just gonna slap that in real quick and we'll show you guys here in a second. All right, guys, I know I didn't film it all. I gotta get this job done, but here we go. Motor's all back together. Like I was saying before, the other cases I think were too wide. What would happen is that the output shaft would slap back and forth a whole bunch. So right now we're in neutral, okay? Now I have first, which I had first in the other cases, but I'd go to second and I would not have second gear. It would spin freely. Third, I'd have third. I wouldn't have fourth at all like I have here. And then now I have fifth. So I wouldn't have any of that stuff. So now I got back to fourth again, third, second, and first, and then back up to neutral. So the other case was just too wide. So I guess the internals of that one, as far as like the transmission goes, are different. I really didn't look it all up, but on the 2010, you're going to see it's going to be ME10E KRN over here on the, that's 2010 through 2013. Now 2014 and beyond that, you'll see the ME10E, but the case has will say KRNS. And then that makes them just a little too wide. So that's what I ran into here. So the next step is now, guys, to get it inside the frame, get some oil and coolant in this thing, get it all hooked back up, and we'll fire up for our first kick. All right, guys, we've got everything finished up here for the most part. Motor's back in. We have coolant. You can see a little bit on the ground for me spilling it. Engine oil, transmission oil, fresh gas, spark plug. The only thing I'm missing is the adjuster on the clutch perch here. I don't know if the customer left that at home or if I have it in the box back here. I didn't see it, but I'll double check that. And the strap for the gas tank. So let's go ahead and see if we can fire this thing off here. See how she runs. Ooh, nope, not good there. Try again. There we go. jacking, and it dies again. Tighten this front tire up here so they don't have it on the bike stand anymore. For almost a year, got the motor rebuilt now. So there we go, guys. Sounds pretty good. Let's see if she stays idling. All right. Well, there you go, guys. I'll have to get a new clutch perch adjuster or clutch cable adjuster up top, finish putting it together, and give the customer a holler, take it for a ride, then give him a holler and let him know it's all finished up. Again, guys, like, subscribe. I know it's kind of a different type of video, but give me a holler if you guys need anything on ATVs, motorcycles, UTVs. I'll be happy to take care of you guys. Again, I am Kyle of Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. I'll catch you guys on the next one.